Hey guys, it's West, and right now we need to talk about the Dr. Disrespect situation. Now, if you don't know what happened originally with Dr. Disrespect, he was caught talking to an alleged minor and admitted to it on Twitter in an apology post. But the problem with this situation is he's actually trying to come back full-time to streaming after he did this. So Dr. Disrespect posted an image on his Twitter implying that he was playing chess while the rest of us were playing checkers. And the response to this post was actually kind of funny, not gonna lie, because everyone just photoshopped him playing against a child. Now, I wish I could tell you that was the end of this entire thing, but this has sparked an entire debate, conversation, and argument on Twitter. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Please subscribe. Also, I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. There's some construction going on around my house. Now, if you're wondering how this has sparked an entire argument, this is because people have actually started welcoming disrespect back with open arms to streaming. Which I have to say, wow, that's incredibly dangerous that you're gonna let someone who admitted to talking to minors back in the streaming world. You know, a platform that's primarily full of minors. As much as I wish I could tell you that this is just common sense that Dr. Disrespect shouldn't be allowed back to streaming after admitting to all of the crimes that he's committed, apparently it's a hot take now on Twitter, because Dr. Disrespect has been seen going on people's posts, pointing out their pronouns, just to get the one up on someone in a haha moment, like he did with this poster, who as far as I'm aware is a biological woman who is going by she, her pronouns. And he calls it out because apparently that was worth getting 54,000 likes, and people are agreeing with this man. I'm sorry, but when did being a predator, sorry, I almost said the bad word that YouTube doesn't like, become a social political thing? I'm sorry that I sound a little bit choppy in this video, but you gotta admit, it's literally rotting my brain trying to process this logic people are trying to justify Dr. Diddlespect with. And before you come at me, I've been seeing a lot of comments, especially on my own videos, of people trying to defend the actions of the people I've been calling out over the past few days. On a recent video, I had someone try to argue that, well, because someone was 17 talking to a alleged 25-year-old, that it doesn't matter because they're 1 year away from becoming a full adult. And let me explain to you why that is bad. I shouldn't have to explain why this is bad. Obviously, a lot of you on this platform have great brains, but there are just a few of you that probably do not. So I am going to use the example they brought up in the comments of a 17-year-old being with a 35-year-old compared to a 18-year-old being with a 35-year-old. Because this individual seemed to believe that the age difference of only 1 year doesn't matter, let me explain to you why it does. Number one, let's get the obvious out the way. It's a crime. Number two, if that person in the comments truly believed that that wasn't that big of a difference and not that big of a deal, then surely it wouldn't be that big of a deal to just wait 1 year. If a person who is a full-fledged 35-year-old adult isn't willing to wait 1 year, what else are they not willing to wait for? What if it comes down to something serious like intimacy, and those two get into something, and the other person isn't ready? Do you think he's gonna wait for them to say yes? No, that starts a huge issue, and I don't seem to know why people don't understand that. If you're not willing to wait what you believe is a small time, then what else are you not willing to wait for? This is why people call out predatory behavior, because in the case of Dr. Disrespect, this person has a huge outreach to kids, but also, not to imply anything terrible, but they have a child themselves. And before I get back to the topic I really wanted to discuss, they were also arguing that in some states the age of consent is lower to 16 and 17, so it should be fine. In those states, just so you know, there is no 17 dating a 35-year-old, that's still illegal. There are Romeo and Juliet laws, and they usually only apply to the people who were dating if it happened before one of the parties involved turned 18. And even if it doesn't involve that, it's still 3 to 4 years forward or back. That doesn't qualify a 35-year-old. There is no reality. Like Dr. Strange could literally peer into 1,000 multiverses and not find one where that's legal. But back to the Dr. Diddlespect situation, you need to know that Dr. Disrespect was called out around the same time that Chris Tyson was called out. And Chris Tyson seemed to take a lot of the heat that Dr. Disrespect should have been getting during the time. And mainly on Twitter, at least I hope Twitter isn't a representation of how many people actually think this, hopefully, because that would mean that there's hundreds of thousands of people with this mindset, believe that one should be canceled over the other due to Chris Tyson being a trans individual. And because these people politically align with Dr. Disrespect, they are choosing to not cancel him at all and just say that let bygones be bygones because he doesn't like pronouns. Let me, one, tell you why that's stupid. Dr. Disrespect does not align with anybody politically, and I'm just gonna say that right now. You think he's one of these woke as broke guys, but the truth is, he only started having that attitude after he got kicked off of Twitch for being a predator. He switched his narrative because that's what the audience on Kick believes. Kick is full of degenerates. He has to have a degenerate mindset because that's what gets him views, people. He doesn't actually think these things. He just wants money, the same way, allegedly, he just wanted a minor. And even if he does align with this, so what? That does not excuse any actions Dr. Disrespect has said or taken towards this alleged minor. Doesn't matter if they were 13, 17, or whatever. All it proves to me is they weren't willing to wait. But I don't know why Twitter is having this argument of one person's side predator is less bad than the other side's. They're both bad. They're both terrible people who shouldn't have platforms. Both Chris and Dr. Disrespect should be deplatformed. They're still not banned on Twitter, surprisingly, after admitting to it on Twitter, and only one of them has been demonetized from YouTube. Does that not say enough, in my opinion, that this is dangerous? There needs to be a bigger discussion going on? And at the time of me editing this video, another commentator named August the Duck, I actually watched their video while I was waiting for gameplay background footage, and you know what? They said basically everything that I said in this video. And it's crazy because I thought I was alone, I thought I was stupid, I thought that people were really just gonna let everything go with Dr. Diddlespect just because of some pronouns. Thankfully, there is someone else sane in the world. This is the main thing I wanted to talk about today, and there isn't really a way I can just stretch this out to be longer than it needs to be, so I'm just going to leave it off on this note with the brass tacks that we shouldn't let Dr. Disrespect come back to the internet. It is dangerous, and he still has a platform full of minors that we need to get taken down as soon as possible, and if not taken down, just not to support, because keep in mind, supporting this guy gives him a wider reach full of possible victims. Anyway, I appreciate you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please comment down below what you think about the situation or anything that you want to add in. Goodbye. Have a nice day.